Welcome to the Cancer Clear and Simple podcast. I am your host, Joshua Wright, Community Project Coordinator in the Cancer Health Disparities Initiative at the University of Wisconsin-Madison Carbone Cancer Center.
So my experience as a caregiver has been for so long, with my late mother, I was a caregiver to her for such a long time. I'm kind of going through that again. It's like a cycle with my father. Now I have a 6.5-month-old baby, and I'm finding that it's the same sine wave. It's like I view caregiving differently because I've seen it on both ends. I've seen it on the later stages of life, and I've seen it in the early stages of life. I'm still going through it.
Hey, everybody. My name is Joshua Wright. I'm here at the 23rd Annual Fall Cancer Conference for the Carbone Cancer Center. I'm here with the keynote speaker of the day, comedian and extraordinaire, Mr. Jesús Trejo. Welcome to the show. How you feeling today?
Great. Thank you for having me. This is great. Look, we're in the convention center in Madison, Wisconsin. I had cheese curds yesterday. I'm ready to go.
Yes. That means he is locked in. I love it. So you've been open about caring about your parents while pursuing your career.
Yeah.
What's one thing that you've learned about caregiving that surprised you?
One of the things that I've learned about caregiving that really surprised me was, caregiving as it is a very lonely journey. It feels lonely at times. It feels like the world is on your shoulders. It's very hard, but it's hard to ask for help. But I was surprised to find that the moment I was able to ask for help, how much people were willing to help.
Oh.
And you really find a community because, people understand what it is to be a caregiver, which is either for a child, a older loved one,
Pets, maybe?
Pets, like a loved one with special needs. There's different versions of caregiving. So when you reach out, I think that's a universal, I understand, and let me see how I can help. So I was really surprised because sometimes you're like, I don't want to bother people. And when you find the courage to finally go ask, one is very pleasantly surprised how much people will really show up, and I'm very grateful that I had a lot of people show up during my journey.
Very nice. Is there somebody that, a position, maybe somebody at the corner store that you didn't know stepped up, or was there somebody that popped in your mind when you thought of that surprise person that?
You know what? It wasn't necessarily the surprise thing, but you know what? It's like, we can look at something like what you're saying, like a specific person, that's the macro, but the micro is when strangers that I don't even know their name, when I was pushing my mom's wheelchair and they would open the door because they saw me coming. It's those acts at the micro and macro level that just make people I didn't have to say nothing. And sometimes it's like you see somebody, that's going to need, it just lessening the weight of the day.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's all we need. And, loved ones, friends, co-workers, bosses, to even the stranger that was, that held the door open a little longer for you.
Yeah.
It's like we need people like that. And that's part of the caregiving community.
Thank you for being very specific about that example. That's how I put together things in my mind. And so that was concrete. I was able to
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So balancing your work in comedy and caring responsibilities must require some amount of creativity. So how does your creative practice help you in your caregiving role?
My creative practice, I'm a stand-up comedian. I do some acting, I do some writing. So I think all of that really helped me put stuff into perspective. Because I'm a stand-up comedian, stand-up comedy is an art where you are you bring your life to the stage, right? So through authenticity, you're able to find connection with people. So it's I felt that the more I was open about this thing, which at first I was I don't know if I want to, it's hard to perform and talk about the things that you're going through. But when you're specific, after shows, I was so surprised how people would come up to me and be like, hey, I'm going through the same thing. I'm going through taking care of my parents. That's one of the things that I talk about, where I was I'm raising my parents. After a while, the tables turn and you got, so it's one of the motifs, but it's the big art, the big, how can I say, the big title of caregiving.
Yeah.
That really helped give me perspective, because I found that no matter where I went in the, anywhere where I traveled to and did a show, I was able to kind of it was like a mutual kind of it fed each other.
Okay.
I was a better caregiver because I can do my art. I was a better artist because I was a caregiver. So it's like it's mutually like they coexist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, that's really cool. And I'm glad that you were able to share with us that process, because I can't imagine what, the strain that it might take sometimes. But to know
Sure.
that it's feeding in a kind of a way each other makes me give more like
Yeah, for the art.
reassurance.
Yeah, like for the art, like, stand-up comedy is something where you're trying to find the humor maybe in the dark corners of certain premises. It's like caregiving is, it can be very rough, but it takes the same amount of energy to find things to worry about and feel heavier. It's the same amount of energy to look at the other side of that and look at the positive side. And why not bring humor and laughter to people going through something like that, And yeah, comedy has been my North Star, and I feel like it's been the coolest thing to find the intersection between comedy and caregiving.
That was a great nugget. I hope that you all caught that. Please go ahead and rewind the tape if you missed that. Right? Yeah. That. So, from what you've experienced, what supports do caregivers need most that maybe isn't talked about enough?
So caregivers need so much support like across the board, right? Caregiving is something that requires so much energy, both physically, mentally. A couple years ago, I did a documentary with AARP called Care to Laugh, and that project came about because they were doing a research study with uh, University of Notre Dame and Google, and what came back was, so the research was focusing on what do caregivers need most, and what came back was that they needed time and they needed laughter. So that's why the Care to Laugh program came about, and then the documentary. But it's like time. Make sure you're like take care of yourself, finding those nuggets of those pockets in the day for you to, even if it's 1 minute, that's 1 minute that you can recharge your battery, that kind of thing. But also look for the pockets in the day that you're able to find the humor. I think that's like the big key for me.
Okay. Finding the pockets, finding the places. When you went to go, you almost said like plug in. I almost thought like my cell phone, even for a second or a minute
Sure.
to recharge that battery.
Yeah, it's like an invisible thing. I'm going to plug into this, the wavelength that I'm plugging in to see the comedy in the day. I'm plugging in to just sit here and be grateful for everything that I have. Yeah, I mean, and everything that I don't, be grateful for that too, because that's like a blessing in itself.
Okay. That's awesome too, because a technique that I have is, just with friends sending me small shorts on YouTube or something like that, we have the group chat, or we'll throw a GIF in there, to kind of just make the comment or whatever.
You know what's special about that?
Oh.
That even if it's just like a picture or a hey, what's up, or like a quick reel or like a short or like whatever it lets people know that you're thinking of them.
Okay.
That right there is already is like a boost of endorphins of like, okay. And you may not know what everyone in that group text is going through. There's probably, like, let's just say there's 10 people. Out of those 10 people, 2 of those are not going to go in there and be like, I'm having a really rough day. But in that rough day, if they take that little time, that little pocket in the day, and they just look at that funny picture, it's like, or, hey, look what I'm eating. Oh, that's pretty cool. It teleports you out of the heaviness, and it gives you just enough of a shot of endorphins to, one, let you know that you're surrounded by good people, and 2 is like, that's all I needed to get through the day sometimes. So.
Okay, gotcha.
That's great, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Okay. And how has the experience of caregiving altered the way you view care in both your personal and professional work?
Say that one more time.
So just in terms of, has your experience of caregiving altered the way you view care?
Yeah.
You've been talking a lot about, just the simple pieces of it, also the heavy pieces about it, but has your experience changed the way you see care?
Absolutely. So my experience as a caregiver has been for so long, with my late mother, I was a caregiver to her for such a long time. And it went from early on, advocating, going to the doctor, doing this kind of thing, to more of a hands-on, like more physical, like, helping my mom go to the restroom and this kind of thing, Um, so I went through that journey, right, as a caregiver, and now I'm kind of going through that again. It's like a cycle with my father. Now I have a 6-month-old, 6.5-month-old baby, and I'm finding that it's like it's the same sine wave. It's like I view caregiving differently because I've seen it on both ends. I've seen it on the later stages of life, and I've seen it in the early stages of life. I'm still going through it, and I can tell you that it's a fine balance, and it requires the same amount of patience. And I almost feel that I'm a better caregiver now. Not a better, but yeah, better is not the word. I think I'm more aware as a caregiver, being a dad to my 6-month-old, because I went through the stuff that I went through with my late mother. So it gives you perspective. Ultimately, being a caregiver, the longer you do it, it just gives you the perspective you need to tackle your caregiving needs in the future, because you either know somebody that's caregiving, you're going to be a caregiver, or guess what? You're going to need one. Oh, so it's like, there's no way around it. It's like we're all connected to this thing. A little bit, yeah.
With like
golf. Yeah. Boxing.
That was a hole in one.
That was a hole in one? Wow.
That was a hole in one in my book.
You heard it here first.
Look, man.
It was a par 5 hole in one.
Thank you.
You know how hard you have to drive the ball to get there? No, I don't play.
I mean, look, I love it. That's exactly right. Just in terms of how I felt about what you're saying, that perspective of being able to see both, because the Lion King pops up in my mind, the circle of life.
Circle of life.
Right.
Beautifully said. Yes.
But just the way that you're framing how there's overlap and parallels in each piece, but it enhances, or, like you're saying, how you're thinking about things is forever changed, but in a good
way. Yeah. It doesn't all have to be heavy. The heavy's going to find you. It's going to be right there. It's around the corner. And guess what? You're going to meet it when you meet it. But yeah, try not to carry all this stuff. It's some beautiful signs and things along the way. Have you ever read the book The Alchemist?
No, I need to.
I recommend it.
Okay.
Just seeing the signs, seeing these, yeah.
Okay.
Opening yourself up to the good signs. So.
Okay. Thank you for the book recommendation. And as we're wrapping up here, if you could give one message to someone who's just stepping into a caregiver role, what would you tell them?
For anyone that's stepping into like a caregiving role early on or for the first time, all I can say is show yourself grace. This is a hard journey. Be easy. Be easy on yourself. You're not going to know all the answers, and that's okay. That's natural. Mm-hmm. And you're going to learn a lot, so it's like, understand that you're doing the best you can with what you have at the time. That took me years to understand in therapy. And you know what? It's just know that you're doing the best you can with what you have in this moment in time.
Okay. This has been such a great honor and pleasure to be able to sit down and talk with you.
Hey, thank you so much. It's a real pleasure to, yeah, likewise. A pleasure to meet you and your team. Thank you for letting me hang out with you guys for a little bit.
Yeah. And then looking forward to your keynote speech later today.
Yeah.
But please feel comfortable coming back to Wisconsin. We love to have you here.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to shout out anybody just in this moment? Shout out to,
Yeah, shout out to all the caregivers out there doing some good work. You're not alone. Keep doing the good work. Yeah, we are a better world because you're here and in it and caring. So thank you to all the caregivers.
Yes. With that, folks, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the Cancer Clear and Simple podcast. I'm your host, Joshua Wright. Please go ahead and find us, look us up, tell a friend, and make sure that you tune in next time to the Cancer Clear and Simple podcast. Thank you so much for joining the Cancer Clear and Simple podcast. Please tell your family, friends, and loved ones to tune in, and we'll catch you on the next episode.